also the time of year where we're hitting the water, so water safety top of mind for a lot of parents. The good news, you don't have to swim like three-time Olympic gold medalist Rowdy Gaines to be safe in the water, but you do need some basic skills that unfortunately not every child has access to.
Gaines has teamed up with the Pool and Hot Tub Alliance to provide kids with greater access to swim lessons, and he's here to tell us more about the Step Into Swim program. So welcome, how are you?
Good morning.
Good morning to you.
Monday.
Yes, it is. And you brought your gold medal with you, I mean, here today. How
So
lucky are we?
impressive. Yeah.
So I would love for you to walk us through your journey to, winning an Olympic medal, not one, not two, but three. What was your introduction to swimming?
Well, Java, I was born and raised in Winter Haven, Florida, just down the street. My parents water skied for Cypress Gardens, grew up on a lake my whole life. Yeah, so water was a part of the fabric of my being growing up. But I didn't start swimming competitively until high school. I was a junior in high school, and but I fell in love with it right when I started, and from that moment on, I started really having that dream of becoming an Olympian.
Yeah, and so you were an Olympian in '84. That's when you won your medals. What were your races?
So I won the 100 freestyle, and I was on 2 relays, so I got to share those gold medals with my teammates, my brothers. And it's funny because 84 was LA, and then 3 more years, we're full circle back to LA in 28. That'll be fun.
Wow. Once an Olympian, you're really part of that family, right?
You're so right. You're so right, Janelle. In fact, there's no such thing as a former Olympian. We're always going to be Olympians, and they will always be my brothers and sisters as well.
Sure.
So special.
Incredible. Well, you were lucky to have grown up around the water and always had that skill, but that's not an option for every child out there in our community. So can you talk about why it's so important that, especially kids growing up here in our area in Tampa Bay and Florida in general, to have those skills?
Well, here's the thing, Java, and this is a very important stat. Drowning is the #1 killer of children ages 1 to 4. That's all you need to know right there. It's the #2 killer of children ages 5 to 14. But the point is, we found the cure. If a child takes swimming lessons, it reduces that risk of drowning by 88%. So what we try to tell parents is, you have to be that first line of defense. Put your phone down, watch your children all the time. But the second thing is, please put your child in swim lessons. There are so many opportunities for children all over the country to do that.
Yeah. And so what are you doing? Because swim lessons, they cost money.
They do.
And so some people, can't afford that. So what are you doing to kind of help that?
Well, that's the beauty of our Step Into Swim program. We give grants out to lesson providers across the country. We gave $1.5 million out just last year alone.
Wow.
And what those lesson providers do is they give those lessons to those children and families from underserved areas. In fact, our money is specifically earmarked for those families that normally would never be able to afford swim lessons. And it's really important because in the African American community, for example, an African American child is 5 times more likely to drown than their Caucasian counterpart. But if you look at across the board, 50% of children across this country have little or no swim skills. And it's a lifelong skill. I love swimming. Swimming brought me so much joy. I don't know about y'all, but the greatest joy I've had as a child, as a parent, and as a grandparent is around a swimming pool. Especially here in Florida. And we want to give that joy to children and families across the country.
Do you have any advice or recommendations on what age, parents should start thinking about this?
It's the #1 question, Janelle. And I'm not the expert. But as a layman who's grown up around swimming all my life and as a father of 4 daughters and 5 granddaughters, you can feel sorry for me. It's okay. I play with Barbies and I like it. That's how bad it is.
You stick to that.
All right, I'm digressing. When they learn how to walk, that's when the magnet is the water, right? You really need to make sure they can escape from you. And that's why I beg parents, please do not get on. This is the bane of my existence when it comes to parents and water. Most swimming accidents happen during non-swimming time, though. That's why swim lessons are so important. 80% of drownings happen during non-swim time when they're not around the pool. Don't take your child. Don't take your eyes off your child and put them in swim lessons. That's the key message.
Yeah, for sure. And I think also sometimes, parents or caregivers may think, oh, I don't have a pool. I don't have to worry about that. But I
Not
mean,
true.
it's you still do. Your neighbor.
Especially, Java, especially here in Florida.
Right.
Because
Right.
if you don't have a pool,
Someone
your
on the
neighbor
street does, for sure.
And there's retention ponds,
Yeah.
there's lakes, there's rivers, there's oceans,
Yeah,
there's the
for
Gulf.
sure. Exactly.
Too many bodies. If we were living in South Dakota, I probably wouldn't have this conversation
Right.
with you, right?
Yeah.
Even though that happens in South
Sure.
Dakota,
Yeah.
it's much more prominent in Florida.
Yeah.
Florida leads the country in the number of drownings in children. We could fill up classrooms full of children that have drowned in this state. So, as somebody this is my home,
Yeah.
please. It's so easy to put your child in swim lessons, formal swimming lessons.
Yeah, the real skills. And if we want to find locations, I guess the website would be the best place to go,
Yeah,
right?
stepintoswim.org will give you a location finder. It will give you all the kinds of information you need about keeping your children safe
Sure.
in and around water.
Okay.
Fantastic.
Yeah. Well, thank you so much. Really
Yeah.
appreciate it. And again,
Thank
you can go to the
you.
website he just mentioned, or you could also find some more information at phta.org.